Jump City, everybody, where we recap the week in American and Japanese sequential art. I am your host, Christian Espinal, and joining me through Discord, it is the man, the myth, the legend. It is Joshua Gangsta Time Cole.
Called partner, but it should be called Gangsta Time.
What up, Chris?
Hello, friend.
What's good, Brian? What's good, listeners?
Hello.
Very happy to be here.
Hell yeah, me too. Also joining us through Discord, it is my brother, it is our producer, it is Edgelord Big News Brian.
What's up, nerds?
Hello. It's good to be here. Feels like only yesterday we were here, but a new week has emerged. Super excited to be here. We have a nice little smooth show for you today. Let's get into plugs really quick, so as not to delay said smooth show. You can find me.
Show.
You can find me at the Chris Espinal on Twitter and Instagram. Joshua Cole, where can they find you?
At JD Cole _37. You already know.
Mm-hmm.
The Twitter handle, MY Chillin, CHILLEN.
Yeah. And Brian, where can they find you?
You can find me at b.esp on Instagram and Twitter, and whenever I decide to stream, you could catch me at It's Punchline, twitch.tv/It's Punchline. Yeah,
check out his stream, you guys. You can follow our theme song guy at drumfoo at drum_foo, and you can follow the show itself at New Jump City on Twitter and Instagram. Follow us on Twitter especially because every Sunday we do a weekly audience really good chapter of the week award, so you guys can cast your votes. The poll goes up every Sunday afternoon, and cast your votes for what you think is the best chapter there. Also, you can email us at newjumpcitypod@gmail.com with any questions, suggestions, anything you guys want to talk to us about, or you can just comment underneath the video you're watching. If you're watching on YouTube, we have an extensive backlog of episodes that we have lost in the great copyright strike of 2020. So subscribe to us there for all the older stuff. And if you're listening on iTunes, there is a link in your description that will take you to our new YouTube page. Subscribe to us there. You know, we have full episodes. We have the highlight breakouts with stuff that we're reading, examples of whatever we're talking about. So, full video experience. And you get to see our faces, our lovely faces. So yeah, and also leave us a 5-star review and a nice comment if that fancies you better. I don't know. Anyway, spoiler alerts ahead.
Tell Chris he looks cute today.
What?
Tell Chris he looks cute today in the comments, guys.
Today. I need all the self-esteem I can get. But without further ado, it is time to randomize.
He said, "Is this ice? Dickhead, is it cold?"
My Hero Academia.
All right, we're starting off with the big guns today.
Yeah, we're starting out pretty big. This is my
quote unquote big guns.
Quote unquote. I mean, it's pretty big. This is My Hero.
What's the title of this episode?
What the title of this episode? Oh, this is My Hero Academia, chapter 290, Dobby's Dance.
Alternate title: One Whiny Teenager.
Alternate title: Our last episode is very dated, or like we really missed the mark on what we thought this was gonna be.
We outthought ourselves, guys.
We overthought it, but we'll get to it when we get to it. Last we left off, Gigantomachia was just pulling up to the scene of the crime. We cut over to the Fujitani hospital where Todoroki's mom is being held currently in the psych ward. As she's watching the TV, everything there's a lot of static, and then all you see is a shirtless Dobby in his most edgelord pose. Just like,
I didn't peep that the first time. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, what, the shirtless Dobby?
Yeah.
Well, his clothes are so leathery.
I mean, he's on TV, but yeah, he just decided, I'm gonna show you all what this burnt cinder skin look like.
Yeah. So yeah, he's just sitting there. This looks like the cover to his album. Just like his mixtape.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
I feel like Eminem would make a cover like this,
Probably. Yeah.
His body burnt up.
Yeah, body burnt up. Maybe Drake. This feels like a Drake-esque cover.
Maybe Drake.
All these burns are his hurt feelings. You know.
Yeah.
Caught me in my feelings.
You know.
Endeavor,
Yo, he's
abandon
even
me.
got the.
Yeah, he's got
Let
the-
me stop. Let me stop.
Endeavor, do you love me?
This is a funny one, man, from Hirakoshi.
Yeah.
I know we wasn't meant to take that one serious.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
We cut back over to the battle itself, and Dobby. We get a little explanation. Like, All for One is still taking over his body for the most part, and we get a little explanation that like Shigaraki's barely holding on at this point. Like, it's only by the grace of the rivet stab quirk that is even keeping him active at this point with the amount of damage his body has taken.
Those rivets being the
power enhancers,
cyber looking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Todoroki just pulls up and is like, I gotta take him down right now. I gotta burn his ass. And then the Nejire is intercepting from the other side as well. They're about to like pincer this guy, and they both unleash like all of their attacks. My favorite part is that like All for One is thinking is like so strong, surge and half hot, half cold. They refuse to give they refuse to give our broken body the slightest reprieve. And
like, yeah, nigga, what you think this is?
yeah,
No freebies out here.
It's interesting. He knows their exact quirk names, and I wonder if that's like a feature of All for One is that you can just see what quirks people have.
No, I think they
Maybe
just
knows.
their research.
Yeah.
Like, he's just that finked out that he knows the quirks of everyone, and as soon as the babies come out,
I mean, if
like,
there,
let's see, is there anything I can shake?
if there is a traitor, there is a chance that like they should know what everybody's quirks are, because like they invaded the. Remember when they invaded the camp? Like they should know all of UA's like. Students' quirks, and especially the high level ones. I
think it's because they have like Dr. Dharma, and he's probably just been feeding information to All for One all these years. Because he's around when these kids find out their quirks. Like he's the one who diagnosed them with like quirks. So if he sees anything,
there's that too. Yeah,
if he sees anything interesting, you can pass it by. Anyway.
Yeah. Plus, all these kids are like out there. Like the public knows about these guys at this point.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, we're very bad at theories because now we're just like out thinking our own theory. Okay, so as he's like getting smoked alive, that's when Gigantomachia shows up with his big ass hand, like his fingers extend through a quirk he has, I guess. And man,
it looks crazy.
Yeah, he is such a talented artist, man. Like you can like the shades and the blur lines is just like to see the movement. It feels very big, and I can kind of see it moving. It's one of those things. Very much respect. He bats away Nejire and Todoroki. Bakugo is in Ida's arms, still like thirst bucketing down there. He's just like, gotta achieve absolute victory. I'm like, damn, Bakugo, that's it.
Like, dog, and death's the door.
Yeah,
that's a victory in and of itself.
Yeah, you're just lucky you survived. Meanwhile, Shigaraki lands into the hands of Gigantomachia, and he's like, "Your will is my command, so give me an order."
Wait. I just realized something.
What?
So, I didn't notice this my first read around, but if you look at the panel with Machia, it shows that he's shaking.
Oh, you're right. Wait, I don't know about that. I think it's that's his finger shrinking back down.
No, because it's also coming in from his back too.
Yeah,
like he's shaking like all over.
Down a little bit to talk to him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Look how massive he looks.
If you look,
no, because look, it says verm.
Yeah, that's him.
I guess that could be his fingers, but like,
no, yeah,
I don't know.
If you
and also his eyes are like half down again too. I think that
looking down. No,
I think they're like trying to say that maybe he's like starting to get tired.
I don't know about that. I think like because you see the things on his back go down too. I think if you look in the previous page, you can see how extended everything.
Oh yeah. I guess you're right.
That's just him shrinking. It could be he could be getting tired, but I don't know.
It's definitely happening. That sleep potion shit did not go down for no reason.
Yeah.
It's gonna
Actually,
have-
you're right. You're
it's
right.
coming,
That
it's
is just
coming.
things going back into his body. You're right.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Endeavor's looking down.
That's a
Like
sharp eye anyway.
Endeavor's looking over this whole scene, just like, what the fuck am I doing? I gotta take him down. After all, I am this nation's top hero.
So these kids out here putting in all this work, and I'm out here looking like straight fodder, #1 out here.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. That's when Dobby shows up and is like, whoa, you guys are here. And he's just immediately, he pulls out this chemical, he douses his hair with it, and he reveals that his name is Toya. It is Toya Shigaraki all along.
Latoya Smith.
Oh, what a shocker!
I mean, all right, last week we tried to overthink ourselves because we all knew that this was Toya, but like last week Brian posited this. Actually, like I thought a really great theory. That
Awesome theory when I listened to it again.
And honestly, when I was like thinking about it and when I read this chapter, I was like, oh, it didn't go down. We thought that Dobby could be this person that isn't Toya but was given Toya's quirk, hence why his body is so weak to the fire that it's like scorched him everywhere. But that's not the case. This is just Toya all along. The worst kept secret in manga turns out to be real.
It's not even like it's a like a secret that got leaked. It's just everybody fucking knew. Like all the clues that they gave us in the show and everything just led to him being Toya.
Well, it's not even that the clues. For me, I mean, I just started to realize, like, the more I saw Dobby, I'm like, he looks a lot like Todoroki. Like, just his face. But yeah, it's Toya. I mean, who's shocked, really? But it's not.
Yeah, and also his resistance to ice.
Yeah, all that stuff.
Does he
knows
have
that.
resistance to ice?
Yeah, they made it clear, like during his fight with the guy in the villain arc, that he had a weird constitution against ice.
Well, because of his mom, I guess.
Yeah, because like Endeavor said, he inherited his mom's constitution, so his body is
But not
ice
fire or
resistant.
lightning.
Yeah, so his fire fucks him up
Yeah. So yeah.
because it's not a fire quirk body.
We then cut
makes
over
sense.
to the hospital again as Todoroki's mom is watching over him. Apparently, Todoroki's recorded like himself talking about his life story and who he is and how he became to be the way he is. And it's basically the backstory we all thought of, we all knew at this point, is that at some point, Toya he's the firstborn child of this quirk marriage that Endeavor has concocted in order to create a child with a stronger quirk to eventually defeat All Might. But he was a failure, and Endeavor was a real shithead back then. So whenever his kids turned out to be a failure, he would just kind of ignore them. And it doesn't really explain how Toya got separated from them, really, yet. I think that's going to be, like, we're going to get more details.
Did they ever explain? I don't remember them saying how he died,
Yeah, I think
supposedly.
Yeah, they didn't talk about his, like, death and all that stuff. So I think we're going to get that a little bit more down the road. There's going to be a little bit more information. I could see this being a flashback, obviously. But we're getting one side of the story with this broadcast, and Dobby is like, he was just thinking of ways to get back at him for like all the abuse he suffered at the hands of Endeavor. And when he saw that Shoto was like his success child, he was planning on killing Shoto, but instead it turned out Endeavor became the #1 hero, and he thought the best way to do it is, I guess, to cancel him and like talk about his his abuse on live television, so people could probably lose their faith in him as the #1 hero at his height of success, at the height of his dreams. The people would learn the truth about Endeavor, and
They're #1 hero at the moment. And that's not good.
yeah, and it's like a big reflection of what the League of Villains have been saying about heroes all along, is that they're not as good as people think they are, I guess. So,
Yeah, I mean it's
or something like that. Or they fucked up.
Trying. It can make people can jump to those conclusions.
Yeah. But and we get these little things. He's dancing as he's telling this story, which
Yeah,
a lot
right.
of people have tied to
Is that what's
that.
going on?
Yeah, I think a lot of people have tied this to the Joker scene, where he finally becomes Joker and he starts dancing on the stairwell. I think this is what it's an homage to, that a lot of people have been saying.
Oh,
And I think it makes sense. I think he does draw from a lot of like American comic and sources. Like I think Twice was obviously modeled after Deadpool, stuff like that. So I wouldn't put it past him. And the chapter ends with Todoroki and Endeavor just looking upon him like fuck. So I guess they're gonna have to fight Dabi right now. As he yells, "You reap what you sow, so let's tango, you and me, Enji Todoroki, a dance with your son here in hell." Man. Oh, and the last panel is that jet that we saw like a chapter or two ago.
Yeah.
Closing in on the scene. Where Best
AKA 1, 2, 3.
Best
Jeanist.
Yeah, it's probably Best Jeanist.
All right.
I don't mind. I like Best Jeanist, and I'd be cool with him having a cool ass moment. I think he's got a really fun, unique power.
Yeah, but what is he gonna do in this situation?
Everybody's wearing clothes.
What if it's Treasure Chest Man from One Piece? That would be epic.
I would love that. Honestly, if Treasure Chest
They
Man,
had to make him a character for something. They had to give. He is an iconic character, just like Iruka Sensei.
he's they shown him before. Like I think like during the time skip, the title pages where they were showing everybody's reactions.
Yeah, that's why I even remember him. Right?
He's got a girlfriend who's stuck in a barrel now. So.
Oh yeah.
That's
Good
our boy.
For him.
Good. Yeah.
Good for
he's
him.
gonna be down. He's gonna make his way to Raftel. Raftel. Watch.
Treasure Chest
He'll
Man
be
for
there.
Straw Hat.
He was the One Piece the whole time. That
I wouldn't be surprised.
They just had to get his ass up there, and then he'll be alright.
He just ran over there real fast, and he's like, "I'm here. It's been me the whole time."
Yeah.
But yeah, back to My Hero Academia. I mean,
NBA.
I mean, it's hard to really be like, "Whoa," one way or another because we all knew this twist, and it's not a bad thing.
Or everybody.
It's not a bad thing at all. It's just like, yeah, we know. I will say that, like, in this big page, this splash page, he looks a lot like Bakugo. Like, we're lucky that he has all these burn marks to really differentiate. Because, like, his hair, the hair color really makes him stand out and look like Bakugo.
Yeah, the facial expression, too.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's not like a real criticism because, he has enough different about him. But it's like...
I have a genuine criticism.
Oh, what's your genuine criticism?
I don't like how this character is kind of unfolding. Oh,
yeah.
It seems like he's unraveling. I thought he was kind of different, and now he's like being all theatric and extra and shit. And what, you want to fight your weakened dad and your little bro that never did a goddamn thing to you? Boo! I guess he's supposed to be a villain. I get it. And you gonna get smoked like a villain. Believe that.
Mm-hmm.
I have no confidence in Dabi.
Dabi was among
I
the
think
cooler.
he's a cornball.
Well, Dabi
up.
was among the cooler of the guys because
I feel bad for him. I didn't know his body was like ice
and
or something.
No, I agree. I mean, it is.
It's
like,
rough. It's rough.
It happened so quick too, where he's just like snapping. And even when he was like fighting Hawks, although he was like kind of like, I'm this crazy killer guy, it was still kind of subdued. I kind of like that. We all like that about Dabi, is that like,
yeah.
it's the one thing that differentiates him from the rest of the league is that like he's crazy, but he's like very subdued and calculating. And like it's so weird to see him just like turn into this like maniacal laughing bwahaha villain. But who knows? Maybe like because I don't.
Yeah, this is just one chapter.
Yeah.
This could just be for the moment. It was just like a little out of character. That's why I'm even bringing. We started out as Dabi, then he was Toya, and then he was your Queen Phoenix. So
Joaquin Phoenix.
I just want some Joaquin.
Did you say Joaquin Phoenix?
Yeah.
So I actually have some.
It's not a J. It's a Yo.
I'll wait before Brian. I think I'll try to justify it in the way that like I think Dabi's having this moment because he's been waiting for this moment for years, and he is so happy. He was just like, "Ooh, finally, I get to do it. I get to throw the whole die."
Usually a sad boy, but this is like, I'm gonna have my fun and be the center of attention.
He was thinking about that die part forever. That he held it in his pocket.
Man.
Like today's the day.
When he robbed the store and seen that shit in there. He put that in his pocket and said yes.
Yeah,
he
he's,
went home that day.
He didn't pay for it. He didn't pay for
Oh,
his hair
no.
dye remover.
No.
So
He robbed the store, went home, and then burned himself a little bit.
Yeah.
To deal
like
with
of course everybody knew that this was coming, and I feel like this is a valid criticism to have now, where it's like the way that he handled Dobby specifically and his whole storyline until now, like it's a shame that it's weird that he tried to do this twist, right? But he did too much with Dobby, to this point where it was like it was super easy for everybody to find out that it was Toya for a while now. Like there were just too many similarities. He threw in so many hints. It's like it's a shame that he exposed so much of it throughout the story until now, because now this big twist doesn't really hit at all for anybody. Like I remember reading this chapter being almost disappointed, because I was like, wow,
Which
this
says a
was
lot.
really just that straightforward. This guy really was like, no, it's not him, but he has ice and fire. It's not him, but he really hates Endeavor. It's not him, though. It's not him, I swear. Dude, come on.
I think everybody knew until everybody was like, it's probably him for sure. But then the second he saw Todoroki, the first time Dobby and Endeavor met, that's when everybody was like, confirmed. It's him.
Yeah.
100%. No turning back now.
He said, he got a whole chip on his shoulder about this.
Yeah.
This one's personal for that.
Yeah, it's a shame that it felt like he wasn't really balancing out how Dobby's story was supposed to pay off. I feel like if Dobby had a different character design, different hair maybe, or different a more low key personality throughout the story,
I think it's all in the
maybe
face.
this would have been a better a better twist. But
Yeah, he just looks a lot like Shoto. So that's when I was looking, even with the burn marks and everything, I'm like, yeah, he looks like them. But I'll say this, My Hero Academia is a great series. We love it, but Horikoshi is not the best at twists. He's good at lore, the all for one stuff with one for all stuff with the lore, stuff like that. He's good with that stuff and revealing information that way, but when it comes to these sudden Shyamalan twists where you're supposed to be whoa, he's not fantastic at those. But I mean, it all depends also on how it's written, because I don't mind guessing a twist right, or seeing a twist coming, because it's hard to do that. We've seen everything under the sun in terms of narrative and so many twists in the world that it's not crazy that we'd be able to guess a story's main twists 9 times out of 10 or so. It's just I guess execution in that. And this was kind of a so-so. It's not the worst execution of a twist reveal, but it's not it's not the best either.
If I was 10 years old, this would have been crazy.
Yeah.
Yo, if I was 9,
Well,
and I just got in from school, you know what I'm saying? Finished my homework already, and that shit's about to come on Magoozy or something like that.
I'd be
Dog,
ooh.
I would have went to school that next day yo, fuck out of here. Oh, it's gonna be so great,
Yeah. The super hot
Right.
fire reaction whenever he drops it first, he'd be like, whoa.
Oh my yeah. So
Um,
but as you guys said, we all seen this coming from
Yeah.
literally a year ago.
One more thought.
Quite literally a year ago.
I guess one more thought to
Insane.
close it out. I feel like Horikoshi had to have been, he has to be kind of in sync with his crowd, because he gets their information and stuff. He gets to see their theories, I bet. I think it's kind of unavoidable because of how big his manga is, that he just can't avoid reactions to his stuff. You think he'd just be seeing everybody be like, yeah, it's Toya, yeah, it's Toya, yeah, it's Toya, and be like, I can't change it.
No, it's not.
I can't change it. It is what it is. I'm just gonna have him pour hair dye on his head and be like, yeah, yes, it's me. I'm Toya.
Yeah, and I'm greasy. I am Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah, how bummed was he? He was like, fuck, they figured it out.
And I'm gonna kill my baby brother.
I thought I covered it up so bad. But anyway, that's all you got to say about My Hero. Ready to move on, boys? It's time
Yep.
to randomize the X books. We have 3 right now. We have Marauders, we have Excalibur, and Wolverine. The first of which...
Oh, we're here already, huh?
Yeah. The first
All right.
of which is Ten of Swords, part 14 out of 22. Marauders, number 15. Last we left off, Wolverine stabbed the shit out of Saturnine in order to, like, just try to calm... Just, like, fuck this tournament, basically. I'm going to kill the main person in charge and see how that goes. And we open up with this big... previously fun thing that goes beyond what we saw. Apparently, after Wolverine stabs Saturnine, a big 3-way battle between Krakoa, Otherworld, and Arakko broke out, and mutants died left and right. But eventually, Arakko won, and they just broke through the external gate, and they
killed Moria also.
Yeah,
with this mind bomb that I guess kind of like knocked out of commission. So it's not like she died and reset the world or nothing like that. That's it.
Yeah, they walked through, and then they bodied the Avengers, the Fantastic Four, and the hosts of Asgard. They fucked everyone.
I don't know about all of that.
They stomped everyone.
I don't know about all of that. Everyone? Come on, son. The
And-
Moon Knight?
And
I
Wolverine,
don't know about that.
I mean, he has all the primordial powers now.
Yeah, man.
And the
I'm
Wolverine...
not buying it, bro.
Yeah, Wolverine can't die, so he had to watch it all. They left him alive so he could watch the consequences of his actions. We open up in this dystopian future where, like, Doctor Strange just gets pushed out of the Sanctum Sanctorum, like, on fire. And War and Pestilence walk out like, yeah, we just bodied Doctor Strange. What now? And I guess we cut back to Otherworld where, like, Wolverine's on an X-shaped thing because, you know, marketing, I guess. Everything has to be X related.
Apparently, it's a callback to a old issue.
Oh yeah.
There was an issue of Wolverine, like where I had Wolverine on an X, some cover,
some shit.
You know.
Yeah, all the stuff.
But you get it. You know,
and
no big deal.
Saturnine is basically like, all right, so let me tell you now, this isn't real, but this is what happens if you actually stab me. So let's do this over again. And she ones up the entire universe, and we cut back to where exactly right before Wolverine stabs her. And that's when Wolverine's like, shit, let me back down. Like, everything's been undone. You know, she basically hit the reset button, and everything's fine. And now Wolverine has decided against stabbing the shit out of Saturnine. Storm is like, wait, what happened? Why didn't you stab her? Because she knew that he was going to do this. And Wolverine's like, don't worry about it. We'll talk later. I'll tell you later. As he's sitting down, he starts to smell something weird as Cypher is trying to get into his sushi. And then Wolverine's like, wait a minute, stop! But it's too late. Cypher already swallowed the sushi, and Ward's poison has now poisoned Cypher.
Not salt.
Yep. You guys thought that War was just a prankster. But nope, she just straight up tried to poison Wolverine, but Cypher got it instead, and he just starts dying immediately. And Iska pops up, just throws a fucking dagger into his throat to open up a second pathway for air. The fucking white sword goes up to War and is like, you poisoned him at our cool dinner where we're supposed to be all chill?
Yeah. He's very disappointed in her,
Yeah.
much to my surprise.
The white sword
Oh,
rules,
wow.
first of all. Like, he's got this cool
Yeah.
code of honor thing that's always really cool to see, where he's like, yo, I ain't going to be part of this bitch shit. And then he walks over to Cypher and cures him of his poison. And apparently, like, if he heals you, like, he's basically got you're in his, like, under his control, unless he decides otherwise. So it's very important that he mentioned, like, after he healed him, he said, I release you from my obligation to me. So Cypher can't be controlled by the white sword after being healed by him. we get this funny little moment where Apocalypse and Annihilation are still sitting at the table. And Apocalypse is like, I see you done well with the children. And she said, I did my best. It's a cute, funny moment. I appreciated it.
Yeah, what was she going to say? She's like, yes, I love it. They're all
yeah, she's
shifty and conniving.
I mean, one of our kids is named War, so what are you going to do? Brian Braddock walks up to him and walks up to Saturday and is like, hey, can we talk for a minute? And she just mutes everybody and is like, okay. And he tries to pull a fast one. He's like, yo, they just tried to poison Wolverine. They cheated. So, can you call them the losers now? Like, they technically tried to cheat. So, can we chill for a minute? And Saturday's like, I would, but Wolverine tried to assassinate me. So fuck y'all.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So that's what happened. And apparently, like, they all have knowledge of what Wolverine tried to do with Saturday now. I guess they all heard them. I'm not sure. So yeah, more spicy talk between a few people. And Saturday is like, Brian, we could just end this if you become Captain Britain again. And he's like, no, that's not my life anymore. But I hope we can be cool. We cool? And Saturday is like, all right. She says something really cryptic that comes out later, where Brian says, I trust you won't go to bits. And she says, no, not I. Foreshadowing.
Wow, nice catch, bro. I did not notice that.
Yeah. So they start eating unicorns because, Otherworld, and that's what they just eat over there.
And Saturday is just rude like that.
Yeah.
That's how I took it. That was just I'm going to do this because I'm a mean, rude person.
Yeah, pretty much.
Much like Genesis.
So yeah, the White Sword and Summoner are talking about how, like, they plan to die way later. They probably will never die. Gorgon's like, tell me, White Sword, would you be able to resurrect yourself? And White Sword is like, I'll never know, because I won't.
Victor said, I have no idea, and I'll never know. Believe that.
Spicy language.
Yeah, I liked this issue a lot.
Yeah. Cable has a moment with Apocalypse and Annihilation where he's like, yo, so is this weird for you guys? Being husband and wife and having to fight each other to the death for some reason. And they both
with their pruny ass faces. They look so
mad.
uptight.
It's funny. Like,
well, I guess that's just a mask, but still.
Yeah.
Apocalypse definitely is. He has such an attitude. Look at all the furrows over his brows.
Yeah, his weird long lips.
He hasn't been this angry in a long fucking time, man.
Yeah. He's like, what's weird to you is normal to other people, so stop judging us, Cable.
That is, that's pretty much what
he says.
To Cable.
And Cable's like, Well, they call him dumb for judging them. He's like,
Right? Cable's just like, oh.
Just asking.
Yeah. Like, he just got sunned real quick.
Yeah, I thought that was a perfectly reasonable question to ask. But
Ooh, like, my bad. Remind me to never asking you a question again.
Yeah, are we all probably not going to die tomorrow? We're all going to be sensitive now? We're about to kill each other. So yeah, they walk up to Iska and they're like, yo, so can you really just, like, not be defeated in anything? And they're like, they start to set up little games for her to do.
Yeah, yo, this was awesome. We were just talking about this, right? Like to what extent does this power go?
Yeah, and it's actually very interesting. As she's, like, slamming all of these little baby, like, kid games they're putting her through. Cable says, I'm not looking forward to fighting you. And that's when Iska is like, you may live to a ripe old age after all.
Yeah, because you're smart. That was a...
Yeah, I think, like...
I don't know. I think that was just her saying, like, yeah, you seem like you're smart enough to know that I'd take your head off, bro.
Well,
little boy.
In this context, if they end up fighting, I think that's what she means. I think, like, the way to beat Iska is to not try to beat her. You know what I mean? Like, she can't win if you're not playing the game, I guess. So, I don't know. I don't know how that would work. I'm thinking the Hickman way, where it's this weird riddle I have to solve. But I think that's what Cable is kind of stepped on, is that like, I don't look forward to fighting you. He doesn't want to fight her, so like,
Yeah.
maybe there's something to that. I don't know how that makes sense. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Anyway, I like the Death and the voice of Arako are talking, and it's like, Death is like salty. He's like, they're so weak and soft. And the voice of Arako is like, I don't know. Maybe they were just raised better. We were
Yeah, right. Maybe because they didn't have to always do the most and fight and go to war.
I mean, if things were
they was able to relax.
They grew up in a place where Avengers exist. You know, we lived in hell.
Yeah.
We lived in hell. For
Literal hell.
millions of years. At that point, that's when Saturnine is like, all right, gather around to find the first matchup. And the issue ends with the first matchup being revealed as Iska the Unbeaten versus Captain Britain, Betsy Braddock. And I was like, whoa!
Why did we not
tournament.
see that coming, man?
I didn't.
Oh, I know why we didn't see that coming. Because we're not going to... Everything else that follows after this issue, nobody called. Not one person on the face of this planet. Not even Hickman. Hickman didn't know until he finished it and said,
I don't know about that.
all right, I'm going with this. Sorry. Okay. All right.
Well, all right, we'll
All
get
right.
into it and we get to it. The next issue is Excalibur number 14. This is part 15 of 22. We start off in the other world. Jubilee is still chilling in the forest from way back when. If you remember, Shogo kind of has to live here now because he's a dragon in this world. And I guess they can't just like remove him from here. So Betsy sends her a telepathic message because nobody knows she's there. So she's like, yo, I'm about to fight someone, but she doesn't have time to really go into the particulars because Iska just pops up and just like starts like talking shit to her. She just shows up just to like mouth off like a UFC weigh-in where they just like start talking shit. So the next scene is like the tournament ground, and I'm like, yo, they actually made a tournament thing. They made a ring. That's pretty cool. And the two fighters start to arrive at the ring. Everybody's cheering them on, which I found kind of sweet, funny.
Yeah, I thought that was dope.
Yeah. Cable, first thing he says, like, fuck her up, Captain. I appreciated that. Made me laugh. So yeah, they're
just telling Doug to pay attention so you can learn something. And he's like, I will.
I'm watching. Yeah. So the battle begins. Captain Britain manages to hit her with her shield, with her psionic shield. Pretty cool. And as they continue to fight, she seems to be holding her own, but then like their swords tap, and then Betsy starts to disintegrate and just breaks into a million pieces. And everybody's like, the fuck? And that's when Saturnine shows up. It's like, oh no, the game's over. Boo-hoo, too bad I didn't make it in time. I don't like this bitch. So anyway, sweep her up. Let's move on to the next game. And Captain Avalon immediately knows, like Brian Braddock already knows that, like, yo, you're fucking cheating just to be mean. And, you know, she doesn't say
just
that.
because?
Yeah, she doesn't say that, really. But then she's like, whatever, we got to move on. She lost. It is what it is. We got to move on to the next game. And the next opponent is Cypher versus the Moon Lady, Bay the Blood Moon. And so they take.
I think I called this one.
Did you? I mean,
yeah,
probably. It's Bay the Blood Moon versus Cypher, and they go get carried away. Everybody's kind of panicking because, like, yo, we just lost Captain Britain. Now we're for sure gonna lose Cypher.
Like, oh man, we're about to go 0-2, 0-2 in our feelings as well.
Yeah.
Like,
but yeah,
shit's happening really fast.
Yeah. We get a little bit of a data file on Bay the Blood Moon and what the Doom Note is, and it is just like her voice is super strong. She's basically Black Bolt.
Might as well be Black Bolt.
Yeah, she's basically Black Bolt. Doom Note's a cool name for her power, though. I like it.
Bleach-esque.
Yeah, they start to dress Cypher in this weird Roman outfit with a flower crown thingy. Magic shows up and she's like, yo, I just wanted to check on you. And he's kind of panicking like, yo, what is she going to do? What are we going to do right now? And she's like, relax. Doesn't look like we're going to fight. They set up some weird dinner table and a bar and they brought a cake. And then it's revealed that it's not a contest really so much as it's a wedding. Where's my drama music? Yeah.
The fuck is this?
Okay, so I had to read this a couple times.
Yeah.
And everybody is just cool with this.
Everyone's just totally whatevs about it. Which I would like to think it's more because of the looking at it like, okay, well,
he's not gonna die.
He's not gonna die. Yeah, right. So okay, whatever. Like we don't care, but
this is
just huge question mark, right? Like,
yeah, I read the Bay the Blood Moon thing again, and from what I understand is that this was a pairing brought up because like there's something about Bay's powers and specifically needing to be understood, and Cypher, despite his powers being that he can speak any language in existence, cannot understand what Bay the Blood Moon is saying because she didn't learn how to talk like even a Rockin' citizen. So like she basically made up her own language that's unique to her. The Doom Note is kind of like a subset of that, I guess. Is that like, yeah, it's weird.
Well, because of the quote unquote Doom Note, she had to communicate with people differently in her own unique way. Mm-hmm. So she says things, but she says them with her intent, or maybe it's like a telepathic thing after that.
Yeah, and for whatever reason, the Doom Note doesn't really work on Cypher. Or like his powers offset it in some way. It's not really clear, and I think that's on purpose for the most part. But in any case, if anybody's watching this and you can kind of clarify if you saw something we didn't, please comment. Let us know, because I'm a little.
I mean, look at this last sentence. It says the Doom Note seems to interact with the power set of Cypher in a unique way, while the Doom Note's desire to be understood can make it heard. Her words are not a true language and cannot be translated. So, I get it, but the way she speaks is. She can't talk normally because she'd destroy everybody, just like Black Bolt. It's literally the same exact power. Like you know what I mean? So, but her ability also makes it so that she like her ability makes like it wants to be like the ability itself wants to be heard. And I don't know if that's because of the influence of her wanting to be heard or whatever, but for some other reason. It communicates to people without talking, so people understand exactly what she's saying, but it's not a language, so Cypher doesn't know it. That's exactly the case.
Yeah, I don't know.
And it's interesting to me, but it's mostly just a huge what the fuck.
Yeah. We're getting the impression that not all of these are just going to be tournament fights rather than tests. And for the most part, that's okay, just because like we didn't know actually how the format of this was going to be, So every character is going to have their own individual test as opposed to always just a one-on-one fight. But in any case, the wedding gets interrupted by Jubilee and Shogo, her dragon son, as they start tearing shit up. Jubilee mentioned earlier that if she hadn't heard from Betsy in an hour, that she would just roll up and start blasting things with her son, who shoots reality warping flames. So, shit starts to go down. Saturnine is pissed, so like they're gonna try to reason with Jubilee and tell her to chill before she just basically wipes her out of existence. Cypher begs Bay the Blood Moon not to go and take down the dragon, and she just starts to make out with him. She's like, "All right, fine, my husband." But in any case, Saturnine is reminded that Shogo's just a baby, so she's like, wait a minute. So she does her magic thing, takes away his reality warping flames, and manipulates him to come forward because Shogo's a baby and has a baby brain. She can manipulate the baby brain into doing whatever she wants. using her magic. So he comes to her.
Jubilee is just so fucking annoying in this whole series. I'm sorry, she's just annoying. She comes off across as like a 17-year-old mom, like
I think she is.
that has no control over her kid. Like that's what and it's just mad annoying to me. It's not cute,
Well,
but I guess that's
I
life.
think she is like literally a young, like she's still kind of a kid.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure.
Yeah, she's not an adult, I think. So I think she's still like kind of a child. But in any case, what was okay? Shogo goes over to Saturnine and she mentions that like if you would have brought your moms here, I would have killed her in front of you. But anyway, you're gonna be my little slave now, and the kids get Bay, the Blood Moon, and Cypher finally get married, and she awards both Krakoa and Arako a point. They are 2-1 now, and that's where the issue ends. I think this goes into a draw because neither died, and I think the point of this thing was their marriage, like this marriage ceremony, was not supposed to go over very well. Maybe she was counting on the Doom Note being able to destroy him. Like the Doom Note would just come out, but for whatever reason, because Cypher's powers react in a different way to hers, that it just didn't come out, and they both survived, so they both get a point. So I don't know. I think that was
or she just wanted to get them married. I don't understand. Like,
well, she at least doesn't seem to mind
why?
it, because we'll learn later. But Saturnine's playing a very complex game here.
Yes.
There's a game within the game that we find out in the next issue, which is Wolverine number 7. This is part Ten of Swords, part 16 out of 22. We start now with Magic arriving at her battle. She goes to she finds herself in the floating kingdom of Roma Regina, where she meets Pog, our boy, in an ultimate. He comes in with the scabbards. He's about to fight her, and they start like sword fighting for a minute. But then Saturnine takes both of their weapons away and says, "This is a contest of arms." And Magic is already off the bat like, "Yo, you're rigging this. Do you see this man? He's huge. You want me to arm wrestle this fucking guy?" And she doesn't.
How does that make any sense to you?
So they have to do it. So she just goes up there. She gets demolished by Pog, and he's like, "Pog 1-1." He's rhyming the whole time, by the way. My favorite being, Pog will tear baby arm from its socket and then keep it in his pocket. It's pretty good. And yeah, Krakoa is now 3-1. I mean, Arako is now 3-1. Krakoa only has one win to its name. We then cut to the Blight Spoke, which is this wasteland for broken universes. This is basically where the multiverse's trash goes. When something gets destroyed, it ends up here on a celestial scale, and this is where Wolverine and the Summoner fight, because they're basically immortal beings, and they just basically fight through all of these broken universes, these apocalypse worlds, and whoever can hold on the longest wins. And that person is Wolverine. He just throws the Muramasa sword right through the Summoner's eye. And is like, sick.
In an incredibly anticlimactic conclusion to the character Summoner, who, in my opinion, was built up more so than almost any of these other characters of Arako, just for him to go out like this.
Yep.
Come on, man.
Well,
and not even a real
Wolverine.
battle in a silly multiversal battle. Come on, son.
I thought it was kind of interesting, but I agree. I'm like, what was this? So this is how the Summoner goes?
Well, they turn into Minecraft characters and fought.
That's true. But Summoner is dead, which leaves Krakoa. But Saturnine declares Arako the winner, despite the fact that the Summoner is dead, because the battle was supposed to be a fight to the death. and Summoner died. So
and Wolverine can't die.
So Saturnine just basically keeps robbing Krakoa of wins.
Yeah. Even in that arm wrestling contest with Pog, they don't even count to one, and he just slams the fucking arm.
Yeah, that one was the most egregious.
And then
one.
we just brush over it, like, okay, that happened. Next.
Well, I think that's supposed to be the point, is that like she's just straight up rigging it, and nobody cares.
Yeah.
But in any case, Wolverine ends up at this bar, this magic bar in Otherworld, and he's like, "The fuck! I lost by winning." And she's like, "It is what it is." And Storm's there with them. And apparently Saturnine has made this game is like, well, they, apparently she's making them fight each other now in different ways. Like Storm and Wolverine have to do a drinking competition. And, yeah, we get this weird scene. I don't know if Josh, you saw this a little differently. As they're drinking outside, Death makes a deal with this Jaffers dude that we see. He's like one of the lords in Otherworld. He gives him this weird...
Jim Jaspers?
Yeah, he gives him this...
D-Mad Jim. Yeah, he's... Who, again, is supposed to be like an Omega level mutant. And
Jaffers?
He's a Omega level reality warper.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He's just... He's supposed to be stronger than even Jamie.
Okay, so after...
I don't know what the deal with him is.
Yeah, because after they do that, Krakoa is now 2-4. So I don't know what got them the win there. Oh, maybe it's because Death bought he bought a win for them? Or maybe there was a deal made there where like Death would forfeit in exchange for something? I don't know. This is very strange.
No, I think they just had to... No, so this is what happened. They had Wolverine and Storm versus each other in a drinking contest.
Mm-hmm.
And then they had War versus Solemn. So they both had to...
If you look to that page, what I'm talking about is this deal. You see with Jaffers and Death? And
yeah,
the
I
next
don't
thing
know
you see
what
is
that's
Araco
about,
and Krakoa.
honestly.
Because at this point, Krakoa only had one win. But after this, they have two.
Well, but I think it's just implied that... I mean, they literally say how it's a cheated... Like, how it's a... Look, Wolverine says, but what do we lose in turn? I plan... Try cheating off from the turn. Besides, I cannot drink.
Right?
I don't know.
It's weird. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm just not picking up on this because I'm a little confused as to how Krakoa won in this instance.
I mean, that was it. It was a drinking contest, and I think one of them, either Wolverine or Storm won. One or the other.
I think it has something to do with whatever Death and Jaffers did.
Yeah, it was random. There's definitely some type of implication there, and there's more to it that's not being shown.
Yeah. Meanwhile, at the same time, Solemn is forced to fight against War. Because when Krakoa fights Araco, so does it fight itself, and that's the logic. Is that because they're basically the same place fighting each other, they have to fight each other for a match, which is strange. And she picks Solemn and War because there's already beef there. Solemn killed War's husband, so she's like, "Okay, I'll kill this guy." And as Storm and Wolverine are getting drunk, and
that was the agreement they made.
Mm-hmm.
Not man sex. All right, like a lot of people thought it was.
People thought it was man sex.
Yeah, in the comment section.
We'll get to
stuff.
it. Wolverine, as Storm is about to make out with Wolverine, and the battle between Solemn and War is about to take off. That's when Wolverine just teleports onto the scene somehow against his will, and it turns out we find out what their deal was. Back in Wolverine, when they were fighting in Hell for the Muramasa sword, they made a deal in exchange for a Muramasa sword. Wolverine would fight a battle for Solemn. And this is the battle he chose. Wolverine has to fight War. And Wolverine's already drunk.
He's mad convenient. Like, how could he have ever known that was... It's not like it was planned. It was just hella convenient.
I think it was planned. I think like Solemn said, like, you have to make it if you've I'll give you the sword in exchange. You have to fight a battle for me in this tournament that we all know we're gonna.
Oh, in this tournament.
Yeah. So yeah, that was the deal. Is that Wolverine had to fight for him if he called them. So Wolverine is at a huge disadvantage because he's drunk, and that fucks with his healing factor. Not that it like turns it off, but it makes it slower and weaker. So, War and Wolverine start fighting. He's just like barely holding on for a minute. War actually manages to just like cut through a little bit of Wolverine's neck, but his adamantium spine kind of blocks it and makes it a little harder for him, or hard for War to break through. And whatever decides this contest is like the first person to cut off an appendage wins. So Wolverine cuts off War's arm or hand.
War's hand.
Yeah, War's hand. And
with his Wolverine claws, not the Muramasa blade, because then her soul would have been donezo.
Yeah. And because Wolverine won, the point goes to Solemn because he was fighting this battle on behalf of Solemn. So this is Solemn's point. Rocco is now 5-2, and that's where this issue ends. Yeah, at first reading this,
wow, so he got points for the other side 2 times in a row.
Yeah, Wolverine both times really fucked them over. And he could have ended this if he had just like not stabbed Saturnine the first time.
Yeah.
So I feel like this is maybe going to be a character point for Wolverine that eventually we're going to understand that, or Wolverine's probably going to come to terms with his own like impatience and anger or something like that. It's not nothing we haven't seen, which is kind of a bummer, but what are you going to do? Me and Josh talked about this a little bit before the show, like yesterday. We didn't go into like super discussions really, but our initial first thoughts is that we were kind of like, we shouldn't have been surprised, but we are a little disappointed because what we were expecting.
Yeah, we really wanted it to be this warrior showdown,
Yeah.
Of combat.
Yeah.
With stakes and stuff.
And here's the problem. We come from like manga, so we're just kind of like, we're more manga people than we are like superhero comic people. So like when this first started to come together, we were like, oh shit, we're going to get a cool like manga style shonen tournament arc. That's fucking awesome. We're so excited. And American comics doesn't really work like that. I just like in terms of structure, they both are very different writing styles. And I think that comes from like, I think manga just has more time to breathe and, really just like take their time with these stories. So I'm not like, I shouldn't be disappointed, but I am a little bit because I was like, yo, this could have been really fun.
It was a bit of a letdown, but it was at least surprising. It wasn't predictable at all.
Mm-hmm. And it made sense.
Wasn't.
It feels like, because there's like a story going on behind the scenes. It's not like this is an ass pull because we do get little hints that Saturnine, the reason she set this whole thing up was for it to work out in her favor anyway. So she's always been kind of a player herself in the grand scheme of things. And she is this powerful where she can just like manipulate odds in her favor. And she is this smart where she can like work on semantics in terms of what the challenges are and all that stuff. It's not that it's poorly written or anything. It's just like, I think maybe we got our expectations in a different place and we were delivered something else.
I think that's the terms that I came to. I think, but if nothing else, the one sharp criticism, and I say sharp because it stands out to me in a bad way, is the pacing. I read a comment in the section that I'm basically, taking their thoughts, but they had a point. There was essentially 3 chapters spent on one dinner just for us to get like 3 fights in one chapter.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
in one issue of a book. And then for one fight to end in 3 sword strikes. Mm-hmm. And another to not even be a fight, to be a... You know what I'm saying? And look, just to be clear, I enjoy these stories that are context heavy. I don't always love it in manga, But in American comics, I do when the writing's really good, especially with someone like Hickman. You know, some of the best Avengers moments was in the dialogue between heroes and stuff. You know, especially the contentiousness of like the Illuminati with Reed and company. You know what I'm saying? Versus Captain America, you get it. So it's not like I didn't like that it was slow before. It's just that damn, I thought they was gonna commit a little bit more to the combat part of it. But again, I will at least say, as you said before, that was more on me.
Yeah.
You know, for having those expectations. But damn, man, I think they could have slowed it down with the fights. I think they could have gave things, especially with Summoner. Summoner, man, come on. I think he deserved to go out like that, but I think we as the readers deserve a more wholesome loss. Like, you know, he didn't even talk. You know, we didn't even get to see him really fight, and he can. And then you know, we had a breakdown of summoners. You know, before a text about the different ranks of them, and then he killed the Stone Man. There was a lot of. It was just dumb. And then what? All right, so he kills War's son, and she's mad instead of being mad and fighting solo. She's fighting Wolverine now. Is mad because he happened to kill the son. And then,
well, I think it's just extra incentive.
Really quick, you know.
In that case, I think there's just extra incentive there. It just made her accept that this is happening easier. But Saturnine was going to let Wolverine fight Solemn's battle. Like, she had the card. She showed it. She's like, yeah, I knew this was going to happen. I mean, I just wish that, like, I don't know what it is about superhero comics that they're not allowed to really, or I don't know if that they're not allowed or they're not encouraged to just kind of, like, take their time with these kind of things. Because superhero comic arcs are very short. Like, they're designed to fit in a trade, in, like, a 6-issue trade paperback. Which is efficient, but like sometimes it kind of robs of like, you know, action and stuff like that. Like, I will say that like when I read a superhero comic, more often than not, I can't say that like something like Jujutsu Kaisen is so great at action in like sequential art, but I can't say the same thing about like Marvel or DC comics, because it's usually just like a fight of ideas as opposed to like they're usually like having these big diatribes as they fight. So it's not really about the physical action, and I get how that can be impactful and strong, but it's just like not that exciting. You know, I feel like this was something that really excited us. This idea that they were just gonna like face this like Pog. I was so excited to see
just
someone
like a good old scrap, you know?
Yeah, like everybody loves a good old scrap.
On the organized manner, not in like a gang fight. X-Men versus whoever else, you know what I'm saying? X-Men versus they ops at the moment. You know, it was a character specific driven arc initially anyway, and you know, these fights were gonna expose a lot more about these characters. There was gonna the stakes involved, and now it just seems like a fucking game, you know?
Yeah.
The tone is so different now.
Yeah.
Like there was this tone that was set that it's just not there anymore.
Yeah, we were set.
Now it's lighthearted.
We were not even that it's lighthearted. We were set up to be like, this is going to be a tournament of champions. This is going to be the fate for Krakoa. But now it's like more. Now it's just about this secret game that Saturnine's playing, which
I fucking hate her, yo.
It's not a bad thing per se, but it's like, I wish.
It's also There was also a thing about like, oh, if we die here, then there's a chance we won't come back the same. But it's like not all of the challenges are like death. Necessarily mean death anymore. So now it feels like, you know, where are the stakes right now?
Here's what I'll say.
Yeah, it was fake, right? Like almost.
Here's what I'll say about that. I mean, look, the story's not over yet.
No, it's not.
So
Yeah.
it could just devolve into a big battle royale where everybody realizes what Saturnine's doing, and they're just like, man, fuck this bitch. And it's like a 3-way battle like we saw before, except this time Krakoa comes out on top or something. Or maybe like even Arako gets pissed and they all like join forces to fight her. which could be interesting. I mean, there's a lot of ways this could go. Maybe we're being a little premature, but we were excited about like, oh shit, Magic versus Pog, or like is Babe the Blood Moon gonna fight Cables? Who's Iska gonna fight?
Right.
In a serious way. It's just like to us, it would have been more excited if they had just committed to maybe showing the fights more and still have Saturnine low key being like sneaky, or maybe just like pace these things out. You know, like
Yeah,
you could
right.
have
Like,
this exact
have it more out of our face than behind the scenes.
Yeah,
you know.
How many issues?
Instead of this obvious game being like this carrot being dangled in front of us, and it's like, come on, man, don't do that. You're better than this, bro.
We started at 14, so we had so many issues where you could just like expand on these fights, and you could have like maybe 2 fights an issue. It's not that crazy, you know. There's certain fights that like could probably be shorter than others, but you know, I guess it's like a weird pacing thing. Is our problem is like you could have this exact same story, but just like, you know, take your time with it. Make this arc longer. If it's good, we'll read it. Who cares? I don't know why it has to be 22 issues. That's it, you know? I wish they would just have taken their time.
I guess it's just the industry, man.
I don't know. But I will say, I don't hate it. I don't even think it's bad. It's just kind of like, maybe, again, it's probably on us for getting our hopes up because we took this as like, it's like we're reading manga, but it's not. And, you know, it's probably like our expectations that we're just getting crushed about. We're being unfair, but I don't know. I still feel like they could have taken their time a little more because, especially with the marriage part, because I was like, my head was spinning. I was like, what? I was like, what? But yeah, I don't know. I'm obviously going to see where this goes. I'm not going to quit at all. It has been a superb story up to this point, so I'm not going to fault it.
Yeah.
I'm going to see where it goes, and Hickman is more than...
I'm just a little disappointed, but they have plenty of time to pick it back up.
For sure. Anyway, that's all I got to say about it. You guys ready to move on?
Same.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's time to randomize. Chainsaw Man. This is Chainsaw Man, Chapter 92, Zombie Blood Chainsaw. And this is the audience-voted RGC.
Certified
RGC.
Certified
Yeah.
RGC.
Certified
RGC.
Yeah, this one, I believe, just a little under half of the vote, which was surprising to me. I thought My Hero or Black Clover was probably going to take this for sure, or at least My Hero, but I don't know. Let me break down the results in real time. We had Chainsaw Man 1 at 47% of the vote. We had Jujutsu Kaisen at 14%. Black Clover was second place at 31. Jujutsu Kaisen was third at 14, and My Hero Academia got 8% of the vote, which is shocking. But yeah, this is this is Chainsaw Man Chapter 92. Last we left off, Denji was revived by power, and he met with the old man, and he's like, I'll keep you safe from Makima. So they fuck off to this weird underground bunker. Kobeni's with them. And she's like, and the old man's like, okay, Makima can't listen to us here.
It's all right to talk now. Yo, I seen that shit. It was crying, man.
Yeah, we have
like, yo, he's real serious about that, man. He's not taking any chances.
Yeah, reception's bad under here for Makima PCS, so she can't hear us down here. And you know, they're just basically sitting down watching TV and waiting for the night to pass, because apparently, like, their plan is going to be initiated tomorrow, whatever they're going to do. So Denji sits next to Kobeni, and they have a conversation. Basically, Kobeni starts off this conversation by saying, "Wait, so I can't call my mom or my dad?" And she's like, and the old man's like, "Nah, sorry." And she's like, "Cool. I don't want to talk to them anyway. I have an excuse to get away from them." And I'm like, whoa. Kobeni is weird. Like, we know almost nothing about Kobeni, but she's such a strange individual. Yeah, she does like a lot of backstory to her. It feels. No, we don't know yet. So she's just shivering in the corner because she's scared she's about to get murdered by Makima, and she's like, "Must be nice. You're immortal, so you can't be killed." And Denji's like, "Yeah, I may look okay, but my heart feels like it's at the bottom of a toilet clogged with crap." And he brings up this like sad thing. It's just like, up till now, everything I've experienced, whether good or bad, were all manufactured by another person, and that's really fucking with my head because the only real choices I guess I've ever made are the little things like what to eat for lunch.
Yeah.
And he's like kind of sad because like even if we make it out alive, I bet I'll just be somebody's obedient dog forever. And Kobeni's just like, well, isn't that just normal? You know, there's no such thing as a life free of bad things except in your dreams. And this is 2-page spread where Denji looks at her like, whoa, what?
Like,
And she,
yeah.
I guess it's.
Go ahead.
I guess it's because Kobeni didn't exactly make him feel better, where he's like, "Oh shit, this may be the case after all. I may just be."
Yeah, right. Like, damn.
Well, good pep talk, I
I'm
guess.
always gonna have to deal with bad things.
Well, it's interesting. I think that's what the thing is supposed to be, where like Denji thought he like accomplished his dreams, and you know, nothing bad would probably happen to him. Like he finally made it, but I guess he's coming to grips where like just because you know he's made it out of the dumpster doesn't mean his troubles are over. Which is crazy. And Denji just looks down and is like, "But I want it to be normal." And she just goes, "You want to be normal, Denji?" And man, he has nothing to say to that. I don't know what this is supposed to mean. Really, do you know, Josh?
No, I put a lot of thought into it too, man, and I honestly don't have much to show for it. I try to understand, and I have a little idea, which is, I don't think this is going to be the case, but we may be seeing a moment here where we see a huge change in philosophy, with Denji, and and his character.
Yeah.
Because, like he said, I mean, he said it plainly, like, yo, everything I've been doing was not even because I wanted to do it. It's just situations I fell into, and I've been wilding for respect.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the only type of control I had over my life was choosing what fucking snack I was about to eat. You know, and do I want the pancakes or the waffles? So, I guess that bomb just got dropped on him, and he's just thinking like, "Ah, man, come on, like I don't want to deal with." All this hardship. I just want to be a normal person, and maybe she challenged him as far as thinking, what is normal? Yeah. What is that even supposed to mean? How the fuck do you think you're ever going to be normal? Or
I think it's more like
to be normal. I don't know.
I think it's more like, what did you think normal was? You know, like I think that's an interesting thought. It's just the idea that like, yeah, but that is normal because when you think about, I guess in a very pessimistic sense, like how much control we all have over our lives. And Denji's lament is like, yo, all I really ever had was the choice of these little things, like what I'm going to eat, what little activities I'm going to do, probably the video games he played with Power, all that stuff. Those little baby choices that we all have. And she's like, yeah, but that's normal. Right?
True.
She said, like,
a lot of things in life are just out of our hands,
Yeah. And wow. Yo, we just figured it out.
Damn.
Another thing I want to mention is that, like, Kobeni saying that, it kind of looks like Denji just woke up,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like when she says that, and it's like, he spent all this time chasing a dream, right? And once he quote unquote accomplished that dream, he had nothing to live for, right? Because it's like he already did everything that he thought he wanted. But it still didn't satisfy him. Like it's almost like he wasn't really aware of the world that he of how he affected the world, or of everything that he really went through because he was in a dream state, you know, like a dreamlike state. Because like even at well, I don't want to talk about the end of the chapter yet, but
yeah. Here's what I say to that, because I think there's a lot of truth. It's more that I think it's that, but it's also Denji's realizing that his dream kind of stunk. Just like he
wasn't being nearly as ambitious as he could have. Like he didn't open his mind at all.
Well, it's not even that. Is that he couldn't, because this just being able to eat non-rotten bread was the dream to him. And then he's realizing now that he's there is that like, yeah, now I have that ability and now I have that opportunity. But now it's just like, is this it? You know, like this is what it is this is what I've always wanted. You know, it's what Brian said is like he's reached his dream and is realizing like his dream isn't great. Or like his dream isn't all that he wanted or what he thought it would be. Very depressing. What is all of our lives? But as Denji is, I guess, figuring this along with us in this moment, he is interrupted by the TV saying "Chainsaw Man," and he's like, "This isn't the hero of a manga we're talking about. He's talking about a man who always gets back up again, no matter how many times he goes down." And he's watching the news as all of the people around the world are just chanting his name. And yeah, Denji's like, "That's me. Holy shit." And I guess he doesn't really have...
That's inspiring, man.
Yeah.
But they're not like, yeah, we love Chainsaw Man because he murders people and he's fucking that metal. You know what I mean? They're like, yo, he doesn't stop, man. This nigga doesn't quit. That's Makonuchi Ippo.
Yeah.
Doesn't stop.
Never stopping. And yeah, he's just realizing this, and that's where the chapter ends. It's just him watching TV. He doesn't really say anything as he's watching thousands of people chant for the Chainsaw Man. And I wonder, I think he's realizing that maybe he didn't live a normal life. Like, he has this potential to be more.
Real quick, this is what I wanted to bring up, was that, like, this isn't the first time that Chainsaw Man or Denji was approached, like, by people, like, you know, kind of idolizing Chainsaw Man, right? Like, so him seeing all this stuff, like, and being surprised by being idolized was a little interesting, because it just shows just how, I don't know, it just seems as though like he wasn't really paying attention to how he influenced the world, right? Because he was so like hell-bent on being normal, he wouldn't picture himself being like this important, right? Mm-hmm. Like, why would a normal person have this much public support? Mm-hmm. So I feel like that's another thing where it's like he shut out the like his influence on the world because he in an attempt to be normal.
He shut out everything, that amongst a whole bunch of other things. You know, he was living in a box. You know, he had his.
I chalk that up to him in his Chainsaw Man form. I don't know how much he actually remembers from the time that he's in that form. So he may not have. I don't think he even knew that this is how people regarded him. And he doesn't really watch the news, it looks like. So there's no way for him to really have known how much he's impacted the world. But yeah, I mean, I guess this is going to be the turning point, is that like in his quest to be normal, he became something more. Just by wanting to be a guy, you know? Or just trying to be like how this is like the development of him becoming a fully formed human being, I guess. It's just by being an everyman, he's influenced so many. His desire to be just like a normal person has brought irrevocable change to most people's lives. That's how I see it, at least. I'm glad we talked about this. This is what I love doing this podcast for, is that when I read this, I was like, what does this mean? But having this talk to be this ability to be able to like bounce ideas off of people and like try to figure it out together, it's always fun. If you guys drew something else, if you guys drew something else from this that we didn't see, let us know in the comments. We'd we'd be happy to read them and share your perspective. That'll be sick. So, comment below if you also have like a little bit of an insight as to what this chapter was. But anyway, that's all I got to say about Chainsaw Man. I guess it does have the well-deserved audience decided RGC. You guys ready to move on?
Here.
It is time to randomize.
The champ is here.
Dr. Stone. This is Dr. Stone, chapter 173. Chapter's loading up. 1 minute. It's the one where they try to go to 173 Earth Race. Last we left off, they freed a geographer.
Yeah.
Named Chelsea, and in South America, and she basically told them that in order to cheat their way through the land, in order to not get caught by Stanley, they would have to develop motorcycles. So that's what we're gonna do in proper Dr. Stone fashion. So yeah, first thing they got to do is they got to make rubber. So they got to make rubber, but on top of that, they're being like pursued even faster now because Stanley's people have a guy on the inside who can read sonar and is a great navigator. So he basically pinpoints their exact location based on the sonar equipment on the Perseus. And they're like, shit, we got to get out of here fast. And then Chelsea reminds them about these about her little kites that she used to cry for help earlier, and they're like, oh yeah. So we cut back to the Perseus where the radar guy is looking, and he notices that their ship is suddenly going way faster. The reason being is that they used Chelsea's big luminous kites to create a sail. So on top of their engine, they are getting pushed over by the wind using the sail. And yeah, it's just going way faster. Because the bigger the sail, the faster the boat size, the faster a boat of this size will go. So yeah, now that they're like...
This story is so dramatic. Like the artist. Like,
Yeah.
you seen this guy on doing the charting?
Yeah.
Fucking bullseye here.
Bullseye Man, where he just...
He got crosshair eyes.
Yeah, he does have crosshair eyes.
And he's throwing the text on the map without even looking at it. Like, whatever, man.
I mean, I'll say this. I feel like Ice Shield was exactly the same. Like, when you really think about it, it's very much this guy's style to make these people, like, ultra...
The ultimate catch, which is really just a 37-yard reception for a first down.
That's pretty big.
Set up in red zone. It's a big deal, but...
That's a big deal. That's
not like they be making it in Ice Shield. That'd be the most epic catch in Japanese history.
Yo, dude, in Ice Shield, they regularly get their, like, helmets. Whenever they catch a thing, their helmets just fly off. I'm like, why does this happen all the time? They need better equipment. Oh, I miss Ice Shield so much.
This is not safe.
They should remake the anime. Shaman King is getting a remake for 2021. Well deserved. I'm excited. I've been reading the Shaman King manga.
Remake, or are they gonna extend
it's the same.
series?
It's the same. No, they're reanimating the whole series. And like here in America, they've been re-putting out the manga on Comixology Unlimited, which I've been reading. I miss Shaman King.
Oh wow!
But I'm like, remake Ice Shield. Do it. It would be a great time. Anyway, that was mostly Dr. Stone. That was about it. They speed up their boat. Fun chapter though. Very clever to use of the sail. I like it. Nothing much happened though. Ready to move on, boys?
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
We missed Ice Shield. Anyway, randomize. Black Clover. This is Black Clover chapter 271. Union. Last we left off, Noct turned into a Muckrow and is planning on destroying Asta. Not really, but really, they're going to do some combat training with the new demon powers. He tries immediately to wrap them up in his shadow magic, but Asta does a cool breakout pose. Pretty sick. One of these.
Oh yeah, bust up out of it.
Yeah, like wham.
I ain't no chump.
And he's in his half demon form. He's like, wait, where's Lieb? And Lieb is a tiny little demon on his shoulder. He's adorable. I'll give him that. Very cute. And he's like, wait a minute, you're tiny. What's happening? And Noct basically explains, like, in Devil Binding Contract, the initiative belongs entirely to the one giving orders. In other words, the human. That's why I can use Union so easily. But your contract isn't Union. So, your devil's power is only trickling into you as opposed to becoming one with your devil. So, you got to figure out how to use his real power. And so Asta turns around and asks Lieb, like, yo, how can I use your real power? And Lieb's like, I don't know.
Dude, I have no fucking clue.
Yeah. He's basically like, my plan was to take over your body and fight, but you beat me, so can't do that. And this is the first time I've ever done this, so I have no idea. So you figure it out. And, they argue about it comedically for a little bit. And Noct is like, I suppose you'll just have to figure it out. One of Guido Mello's characteristics is pack. So I think he could just, like, spawn multiple demons using his demon Guido Mello's power. And they all start just mobbing on Asta and Lieb. Asta's barely, like, kind of keeping up, fighting.
Perfect training sparring partners,
Mm-hmm.
Fodder creatures.
Yeah. Asta eventually makes his way to Yami's katana and transforms it into a fully black blade. He takes a swing using a new technique called Demon Slasher. Oh no, he says just Demon Slasher. Your name is Demon Slasher Katana.
He named it.
He named his sword, and he's like, let's go get Captain Yami together. We'll surpass our limits right here and now. And Noct is like, I hate that phrase. And that's where the chapter ends. I like this. I like this quite a bit. I'm enjoying that, like, there's different versions of the devil power, that not everybody has to be one with them. You can just use their power. I like how Yuno uses, like, the air sprite lady. So,
Oh, the little pixie chick, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that was fun. It was mostly an action chapter. It was very funny. I'm liking their little chemistry together.
Yeah, I like the what do you call that? The banter between them.
Mm-hmm.
And this is cool. This is training I wanted to see. I like how he doesn't automatically unlock the full power of his devil just because they made a contract, that he's got to figure out how to use that shit, and that there's potential for him to get even stronger.
Right.
This is exciting stuff.
Yeah. But anyway, that was Black Clover. Had a good time reading it. You guys ready to move on?
Yep.
It is time to randomize. Jujutsu Kaisen. This is Jujutsu Kaisen chapter 129, the Shibuya Incident part 46.
Jeez. How many weeks
Another
are
action-packed chapter.
46. Not counting like weeks
It's
off that
46?
Jump has. It's almost a year.
Huh?
It's almost a year.
Wow.
This whole story arc. In any case, last we left off, Mahito and Todo were fighting. Todo and Itadori were fighting Mahito. Their fight was so epic they had to take it to the streets, and they just continue to give it up filthy. They're like just.
Oh, this is the RGC for me, by the way.
Oh yeah, also same. By the way, this is our certified really good chapter.
Certified RGC.
Yo, Jujutsu Kaisen been hot, man. Holy shit. I am shocked.
Oh man, so fun. So yeah, it's just like they're just fighting, and it's cool action. Like it's not standard like I'm gonna punch you, you gonna punch me, and it's not just like I'm gonna use my powers to bludgeon you to death. It's just a combination of both, and it's so fucking sweet. I also like the art is so great. I don't know how many times we've talked about Jujutsu Kaisen art, but for as sketchy and as weird as it is, it's kind of perfect in that way. I really like it. But,
It's because it's kind of like, all right, so I know I keep bringing up like anime and how this stuff is going to be fucking incredible in anime. But that's the thing that this artist does specifically, where it's like he prioritizes like movement over like details in some cases. Like when you see the movement and how things like you could just like I've mentioned this before, but it's like you can see their movement because that's clearly what he prioritizes is like how characters look like their poses, like how they move and shit like that. Like
You know what?
the art for this fucking thing is amazing.
I think a better way to explain it is that like you can feel the weight of their movement. Like you can feel the weight of a punch, or like even a punch that misses. I like the instinctual feel I get sometimes is like I can feel like that was a heavy hit in that moment, or a heavy swing in general, just because the way he inks and stuff. But enough about the art. It's just so great. As they're giving up filthy, at some point Mahito just transforms back regular and is like soul multiplicity. He makes a shadow clone of some sort. Not a shadow clone, but like a whole new human being. A polymorphic soul.
A transfigured human.
Mm-hmm.
Got henchman.
Yeah. And it actually is like so strong that it knocks Toto through a whole fucking building. Like all the way through.
Yeah, he kind of just assumes it's like, you know, a weak fodder creature, you know, like us when they spawn little minions. But this guy's has some explosive strength to him.
Well, it's.
I mean, he knocked this guy through a fucking skyscraper.
Yeah.
Or something.
Well, he's wrong and right because like he's not just a fodder figure, but it does only take Toto one hit to take him down.
Oh, he catches him real lovely too. He
Yeah.
tosses a rock right
Switches
past
places.
him, then pow, teleports behind him and
Oh,
throws him
man.
a fucking
That
elbow
clap,
to the back of his
It's gotta
head.
be so satisfying to hear, just like, and there he is.
Cut.
And then he just like mashes him into the ground.
It's just really clever, man. Very creative use of an ability.
Yeah, and he basically posits like, yeah, it may have been super strong, but it's not very durable because it's the power is the result of expending so many souls at once, but there's not a lot of emphasis placed on durability. So, you know, he sees two more pulling up and he's like, forgive me, poor souls, kisses his necklace as he's about to demolish these guys. Back to Itadori and Mahito. Man, he just keeps throwing dead person beams at him, but Itadori is like, woo, weave, woo.
Yeah, weaving all of that shit, man.
Kicks him square, like right in his face intentionally, but then Mahito blocks it, turns that into a fucking throw, a leg throw, knocking Itadori through a building. But then Toto shows up because, of course, he's not just going to go down that easy. And Mahito's like, fuck, this is starting to get hard. And he realized, like, I can't use domain expansion because I'll be killed by Sukuna. And I'm not good enough to, like, exclude Itadori from the domain. So what to do? And then he just, like, decides, fuck it, I'm going to do it. He expands his domain for 2.2 seconds. And that's where the chapter ends. Like, his plan is to do it real quick before Sukuna is even able to do anything and de-expand it. And that's where the chapter ends.
Yeah, this was so. If he opens up his domain, does Sukuna come out?
Yeah, he tried it on Itadori before, and Sukuna was like, "Do that again, and I'll kill you."
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Like he could come out during his domain expansion for some reason.
Well, because I think I don't remember how this exactly played out, and I feel bad for my memory on Jujutsu Kaisen. But I do remember this scene where he tried to fight him. He tried to fight Itadori before.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was way back early in the series.
Yeah.
And then he used his domain on Itadori, but then that's when Sukuna was like, the fuck do you think you're doing? I don't remember exactly what his domain was, but I think it had something to do with like, oh, no. You know what it is? It's because Itadori's soul is like one with Sukuna's. So if he tries to manipulate Itadori's soul using his domain, then Sukuna will be down there waiting. Like, he can't just do that.
Oh, and that's what his domain does. It affects your soul directly.
Yeah. if I remember correctly.
Because that's what his whole that's his whole ability in the first place.
Mhm.
That like the damage it does to your soul.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's where the chapter ends. He's gonna try and
It-
do it in 0.2 seconds.
I'm sure we'll get another explanation again. They'll refresh us
Yeah.
next time. He's very descriptive. He's gonna
Yeah.
make sure that we didn't forget.
Yeah, Jujutsu
There's
Kaisen.
no way.
Jujutsu Kaisen
No
is very aware
possible.
that it's an info dump
Yeah.
constantly. So
Yeah.
it's reminded us before of certain things. But in any
He'll
case,
do it again.
that was Jujutsu Kaisen. Again, another action. We had a lot of action chapters this week. I feel bad, not a ton of analysis in terms of that. But
It's okay. We can get a
I
little
mean,
break
you know.
sometimes. This is lit. It was
Yeah.
fun to read.
no, yeah, that doesn't take away anything. It just makes it less to really talk about. It was a great chapter. Our favorite of the week, me and Josh at least. I don't know what Brian's RGC was.
Poggers.
Poggers.
I guess Jujutsu Kaisen was up there for me.
All right. Well, there you
You
go.
guess? They gotta say the magic word, the magic act.
Yeah, Brian, you got to be sure
Ah,
about your
what do you call
RGCs.
it?
You can't. It's not an I guess. It's not a. It's not some paltry award. It's a high honor.
Ahoy, Ona.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I guess it's my RGC,
Brian.
dude.
Say it with your chest.
Play that.
I hope he
Dropped
turns his
out.
sword into
Wrong
some
one.
guns.
Certified RGC. Certified RGC.
Certified
Yeah.
Times 3. Unified? Holy
Unified.
shit.
I should admit, we got to make a new drop called Unified RGC.
Yeah, we gotta come out with
Just a
something.
deluxe. Just a deluxe version of it. Unified. Like a Power Rangers.
Yeah, you're going Super Saiyan and shit.
Yeah. Anyway, well, that was Jujutsu Kaisen, and that has been our show.
Where Superman was kind of cool, but we'll
Yeah.
save that.
We'll save that. Maybe we'll do a bonus sometime. I don't know. But in any case, that was our show this week. Thank you guys so much for listening. A little bit of a shorter one, but you know, it was a very it was a chill week. Thank you guys for
Yeah,
joining.
chill, smooth one, right?
Yeah, we've had a slew of almost 2.5 hour episodes, so you know, I think we deserve a little bit of a break. But in any case, you could find us at the Chris Espinal, at JDCole_37, at B.ESP on Twitter and Instagram, NYChillin for Josh on Twitter. Follow our theme song guy at drum_foo. Follow the show itself at New Jump City on Twitter and Instagram to cast your vote for the audience RGC. Is that it? That's right. No. Email us at newjumpcitypod@gmail.com for any questions, suggestions, anything you guys want to talk to us about, or comment below, and we'll read them on the show. Do all of the things. If you're listening on iTunes, subscribe to us on YouTube, and vice versa. If you're on YouTube, listen to the show on iTunes. iTunes episode usually goes up first anyway, so if you want to listen to it before it gets on YouTube, check us out there. And I believe that is it. Take care, everybody. Stay safe, New Jump citizens.
Peace.
Peace out.